Alright, so I want to explain to you what trafficking means in the sense that I use it in whenever I'm writing and running my mouth and making videos. Um, Trafficking is when you take someone and you say, I want that person to be picked up by so-and-so, and I want them to be moved here, and they need to be staying the night there here, and I want for people to act like this to them, and I need you to say this and this, and then tomorrow I need you to drop them off here, and then these other people are going to go pick them up, and they're going to go over here, and they're going to try to keep them there they're going to try to keep them there for a couple weeks, and you know, or it's basically the process of holding on to someone or having them rejected or having them moved, moving them, keeping them places, kind of holding them against their will, controlling their transportation or lack thereof, controlling their communication or lack thereof, controlling their basic needs, controlling them financially. All of these things wrap into it, but trafficking itself is just the moving and holding on to something or someone, you know? So I try to keep things as PG-13 as I can these days. It's a pretty dangerous world out here, but definitely, as I described, being trafficked, especially what I'm talking about over the last couple years. I'm not talking about being handed back and forth between pimps or whatever. I have seen people pay for me, but they didn't actually get anything out of it other than, unless they had hidden cameras, and that's another thing, is that a lot of them will get paid for filming me in one way or another, taking pictures and videos, and they all think that it's all going to be like evidence. They're hurrying up and getting all this evidence or whatever, but in order to get all of this evidence, they've had to literally hold me hostage, basically my entire life. Even before this stint of being trafficked, of being moved, and having to run away all across the country, I was trafficked while I was in my apartment. I was trafficked in place because I was forced to stay somewhere that I didn't want to stay, and I was forced to be in confinement and isolation for quite a long time, and people were specifically chosen to interact with me, and no one other than those people were allowed to interact with me. And the people who I dated were chosen by whole groups of other people, and it was just, everything was just one giant just show. Now that was a different kind of trafficking, but it's still the same thing, okay? But as far as what's gone on out here, after I had to run away from my home in those situations, I've dealt with a different kind of trafficking, which is that everywhere I go, there's already someone there to invite me over, or to pick me up and give me a ride, or to say whatever to me, or to treat me however, or to just completely reject me, or any number of different things that you could possibly think of. And at no time have they ever stopped sending people or paying people to interact with me or to do and say different things to me. There hasn't been one day yet that's gone by that it's actually finally stopped. And like, I've heard that it's over a false investigation or whatever, but honestly, like, it's a lot more than that. I think that that is like kind of an excuse, because what's happened to me out here is definitely crimes against humanity. This is like probably even breaks like international treaties and shit. Like, it's pretty bad. Like, but yeah, okay, so I just wanted to tell you what I meant by trafficking, what I mean by trafficking, because everyone just wants to hear that and automatically think of these movies that they've seen about people being trafficked and getting, assaulted until the cows come home. And that is a form of trafficking, no doubt. But it's one of the loudest, gnarliest forms of trafficking that people don't. There's just different, more subtle ways to traffic people, sometimes without even them catching on. And sometimes, even if they were to, it's difficult for people to truly gather enough evidence or information, especially whenever everyone gets paid with your money to prolong fake investigations and to torture you and have you trafficked and hope that you'll get naked for somebody so that they can have another video or whatever, or that you'll come take a shower at their house so that they can make another video, or so that they can do something nasty to you so that you can be humiliated in front of everyone, or that they can take pictures of you and snarl about it in the background. And yeah, so a lot of it does have to do with like illegal monitoring, like it's control and monitoring, and people have taken the whole video and photo thing like way overboard. So that's been a big part of it in my case, probably in a lot of other cases. I'm so upset over the situation and being just completely with nothing and just like complete losers being sent to me, basically, that like, dude, I just can't wait to be like, to see my kids again and to like to have a little bit of money and to like to have anybody looking out for any of us at all, or to like actually know what happened so that someone could maybe be of some kind of help. But even if they're not, it would just be great to have a fortress of my own and to keep everybody who I needed to safe in there, and to not have to worry about being forced from place to place to place, or from apartments that I pay $1,000 a month from, or for cars to be stolen or messed up so that I can't drive them anymore. Cars that I just bought that were fine. Like, Like, I can't wait to go through life and not have to worry about, like, complete assholes who are just soulless and just worthless. Just the people that they have on their little list of friendly help are just the most worthless people on the planet. Like, anybody who would just, like, go along with, just go along with any group of people against, like, a single mom who's just trying to, like, who's literally just trying to fucking survive. And people who can just, like, sit back and cackle and make a big fun joke about it and put shit in her food and drink and dig her whatever out of the trash or invite her over to a camper and then use whatever she has in the tank from the bathroom and just like the weird different stuff that they do, man. Like, it's real shit. It's fucking fucked up and it's a fucking constant thing. Like, they were like, they'll even take like the water bottles and they'll like open them. Not these ones, because these ones aren't that easy. I mean, they could. They definitely could. They could fucking do any of this shit because they're fucking crackheads, right? They're able to be like real meticulous and but they were able to like take the lids off of fucking entire cases of water and poison them. And like, it sucked. Like, I would be like, they'll invite me out to places where they'll be like, oh, you can't use the faucet water, you got to use this bottled water, or you got to use this water that's in the fridge, or water that's in this whatever, right? And every fucking single person who says that to me, or they'll say, use the water from the fridge instead of the sink. And then whenever I caught on to them doing that, they started actually doing something where they started putting something in the faucet, like into the fucking sink and shit like that, to where I couldn't use the sink water either. So I literally had to make sure that I got my own water every single day. I have to make sure that I get my own water every day and that I don't drink the water bottles that people hand me and stuff like that. Like, I do fuck up sometimes and eat the food that people give me, even though I shouldn't. But for the most part, I really try not to, because I have been hurt and poisoned and like sickened so badly before by the dumb shit that people gave me. There's one time that this chick handed me what she told me was an Imodium because I told her my stomach hurt and I knew that I shouldn't have taken it, but I did, and I puked blood for 20 solid hours. It was like the poison coffee scene off that movie, The Hateful Eight. So in my situation, poisoning has been a big part of it. As far as like my being trafficked goes, it's a constant like being held, being kept in places, people insisting that I stay and acting like I'll be able to stay for a while, for like days or however long. And then the very next day, they'll hurry me up to leave or whatever. And they do this back to back to back with every single person. Like, they'll have somebody pick me up and act like that's going to be like a place to hang out, or like that they're going to be a cool person, or that they're a normal person or whatever. But it's always somebody that is in that group or gang or connected to them. Like, there have been some people whose parents were in it, and I could tell, weren't quite in it yet, but maybe they were working on it, and maybe it was like part of an initiation, or if they were in it, they were just not, they weren't as aggressive maybe as their parents were, is what I was picking up on. Like, they could be, but they weren't, and it was almost like a better thing that it was them picking me up than their parents or something like that. That happened in several different cases. People whose parents were in the Freemasons, especially. So yeah, I started to make this video a couple other times, and I'm a little baked and stuff, but it is difficult to touch on this subject without, like, because even though I'm cussing and all this and that, I don't necessarily want all the kids to hear or understand certain things, just like anybody else. And I know that I spent years with YouTube videos planned that I didn't really necessarily want my kids or anybody else to hear. Still happens to this day. Okay. So, you see me kind of like looking okay and sort of having a smile on my face. It's evening time, so I'm like set up in a tent, and I'm actually laying on some like lawn cushions and stuff. They're really old and ate up and stuff, but like I laid a tarp over them, and like it's the most padding that I've had to sleep on in like a week or something. So it's pretty awesome. I've got my doggy with me, and I got to hang out with some horses, which is kind of like a sad time for me. Like every time that I meet really even around them and try to like hang out with them, I just start like crying, and I don't want to upset the horses, and they get it. Like every time that I start crying, they're just like, oh, and they just like put their heads down and like walk away and stuff. It's super sad. Like I can hardly even talk about it. But like so anyways, I will really want to say that the messing with communication and transportation is basically the biggest part of it. Making sure that you can't communicate, making sure that you don't have access to the internet, making sure that you don't have access to electricity so that you can use internet, making sure that there's nowhere within fucking hundreds of miles where there's so much of a fucking library or McDonald's with open fucking free Wi-Fi for vagabonds or homeless or trafficked people or lost teenagers or whoever to fucking hook up on. Like making sure that there's nowhere for us to get water, making sure that the only places that there are to get food are places where we're gonna have to go fill out a bunch of paperwork, and if we aren't completely 100% honest, we're gonna have somebody like questioning us about it, or we're gonna feel bad afterwards because we got the wrong stuff, or we got too much stuff, or that I need to show my ID, or that I'm gonna be treated like shit, or that the guy that works for the Catholic Charities place is gonna solicit me and rip my bag up whenever I buy it from their nasty little thrift store. And like just dumb shit. They just have people do fucking dumb shit every fucking where I go. It's bullshit. Like every time that I make it to a place or a situation or like try to do what it is that I need to do, like it's like I'm blocked. But you know, like there's other stuff that I do kind of do okay with, which is like I'm just not even going to get into that yet. But yeah, it's a touchy subject. But in this case, it hasn't really been touched in a really kind of a long time-ish. However, that sort of shit has gone on. Like, so I can't be like super bashful and be like, no, that's not the situation. No, that's what they've intended for the situation to be. It's just that I have been doing everything that I can to break free of these people for years and years and years, and I stopped dealing with these people that they sent into my life over and over again over the course of many years now, and they know that I know what's up and what's going on, and there's been more and more of a desperate attempt to eliminate me, whether that means by, putting me in prison or 6 feet under, or sending me back to Jesus, or whatever, or making me crazy, making me suck my thumb in a mental institution, getting me to get strung out, or getting me in a really bad relationship so that somebody can say that I'm crazy and have me locked up, or just so many different things that, people who have that controlling mentality will plan for their victims. I mean, if you give an abuser unlimited power and control over anyone, and you leave that unchecked for however many decades, or you encourage it for decades, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad, and that person, I can imagine them almost snapping for real, because, I mean, for everyone to encourage that kind of behavior, to encourage that kind of abuse, for it to be a community-minded social event, to hurt somebody else for so long, and for it to be such a um, a source of amusement, and I can imagine it would be very difficult for those abusers to ever stop. They would have to be forced to stop. That's a lifestyle that after you have ventured down it for so many years and been allowed to be abusive in those ways, unless it's through the good Lord, I really don't see anybody coming back from that. Like, after you choose to be evil in those ways, like really, purely, truly evil, when you know what's right and you know what's good, I don't know. I just feel like I'm not going to be set free from this unless I demand it, and that the assholes and hookers doing this fucking shit, they're not going to stop until someone makes them stop. You're going to have to make them stop. You're not just gonna decide to throw in the towel. Like, someone's gonna have to actually physically make them stop. And all of this bullshit is gonna have to stop. People are gonna have to stop controlling who picks me up and when, and where I go, and where I stay the night, and how I'm treated, and when I have to leave, and where I get dropped off, and who's gonna pick me up next, and what town I'm gonna end up where, and all this stuff. Like, people are just gonna have to fucking stop. They're all told to say the same thing and act the same fucking way. They're all just fucking robots. And here I am, just this ping pong ball that's just being, and I'm like, when is this gonna stop? When is this gonna end? Because I'm not gonna get retarded for you. I'm not gonna die for you. I'm not gonna turn into any of these things that you want me to turn into. So, like, it really, the madness has got to stop. I'm not gonna get sick for you. None of those bad things, horrible atrocities are gonna happen. The atrocities that could be committed against a person have been overly committed against me. It's offensive to me that people have been allowed to disrespect me for this long. Like, there has to be some end to a person being disrespected and treated like shit their whole fucking lives. Like, my whole fucking life, you guys, like, Sure, there might have been a few breaths in between, but like it's the bad has begun to drastically outweigh even the good. Like I've literally like lost my patriotism in my nation. Like I'm not sure that it can even be restored. I'm not sure that my faith in mankind can be restored at this point. So yeah. Trafficking 101.